This is Solis, and you're now watching Heritage Hip Hop.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Heritage Hip Hop. And if you know like I know, we celebrate the culture and we celebrate greatness in our hip hop heritage. And right now, I have a young up-and-coming MC who will put you on your game and teach you something if you pay attention. Introduce the world to yourself.
This is Solis. I'm a hip hop artist from North Bergen, New Jersey. And I just love hip hop. I love to write. I love all of that stuff. I'm a music head.
And that's what's up, because in the ever-expanding landscape of hip hop, North Bergen is not a place that you hear hip hop in, primarily historically. So let's talk about who you are and what hip hop has done to inspire you. Tell the people more about yourself. Who is Solis and what does he do?
Well, again, I'm just a hip hop. I'm a hip hop head, a hip hop lover. In the beginning, everything I did was surrounded with hip hop. Being in the car, my dad's bumping hip hop. At home, I'm watching stuff that has hip hop music in it. I was just surrounded by it, and I loved writing, period, from the beginning. But it wasn't lyrics, so to say. It was more like storytelling and writing essays and stuff like that. Like, that was just my passion. And then once somebody pushed me to write music, that's when I literally just fell in love.
That's dope, because I remember in one of J. Cole's songs, I think it was Let Nas Down, he talked about how he took Nas's lyrics and put them on his walls like he saw pictures. How did hip hop inspire you to want to write and engage penmanship as a way of expressing yourself?
How did it encourage me?
Yeah, like how did it inspire you? What about it made you want to write and go that extra mile in it?
Well, my first rap, my cousin was like, yo, you gotta try this, or you gotta try to write lyrics. So I actually sat there and I found a beat, and it was a Blue and Exile beat.
Okay.
Right? And I'm sitting there and I'm trying to figure out what to do, and it just, by the end, when I finalized the whole rap, I realized how much, I wasn't thinking about tomorrow, I wasn't thinking about what happened yesterday or the day before, what problems I had at the time. It was more like I was having so much fun on that one task that by the end of it, I just realized, yo, I just had so much fun trying to map this out, put in the words. It was kind of like a puzzle, sort of. And I just had mad fun doing that, just experimenting with the words. It was just fun. That's how it started.
You like the technicality of hip hop.
Yeah.
See, one thing I usually talk about when I talk to veteran MCs, anybody can rap. Because anybody can rhyme words. But to put it together and to make it make sense, that is a true skill and talent. How did you own your talent, and when did you see yourself, you saw you could do it, but when did you see yourself progressing in it as time went along? What opened you up to that?
As time went along, well, from that first rap, I kept doing it just for the simple fact that it was fun. I never saw no money into it. I never saw no future or career out of it. I just kept doing it because it was fun, and that's all I did it for. Until I started realizing, as I was going to school and we started having these rap battles, freestyle battles, I realized the recognition that I was getting off of what I was saying, and that felt even more greater than sitting by myself and writing it. So now I had a purpose behind writing the bars. It was more like, all right, let me get this feedback once I get back to school, and then, you know what I'm saying? And that felt that much greater. And then I was sitting in my room one time, and I actually, I spit this rap for my cousin. We were rapping on a Mobb Deep beat called Thug's Music. And then out of nowhere, he was like, yo, that's sick. You gotta show your parents that you rap like this. And I was like, nah, chill, don't do that. And he called my dad over and he made me spit it for my dad, and my dad just started spazzing out. And at that time, I was taking it more serious because of that feedback that I was getting. But at that time, I didn't think I was ready for my parents to know that. And once I got that approval from my dad, my mom was more like, nah, he can't do that. She wanted me to be in school. She thought I was gonna, you know what I'm saying, the typical rap story, get into drugs and fail and stuff like that.
Okay.
And having to prove to her that this is my passion, that was the greatest thing, because my whole career was more like trying to prove her wrong. But then in me trying to prove her wrong came my best work. And then that eventually showed her like, oh, he's serious. Like, this is what he really wants to do.
Well, if people have been paying attention to the page, and I know they have, I've put up a video of you live performing. And it's interesting that you bring your family up, is because your family comes out, from what I see, and they really support you.
Yeah.
And that's something that a lot of people in hip hop on the upswing, the beginning, really don't have. So it's interesting when you talked about mom and dad and the difference between them in that aspect. Talking about how you always listen to hip hop in the car, what did your dad play that you like?
DMX, 50 Cent, a lot of, how would you say, I don't know what it's called. It's like reggae, but it's kind of like more party-ish.
Oh, dancehall.
That's what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Soca and dancehall.
Yeah, it was that. A little bit of Nas. It was just a lot of early 2000s, 90s rap.
Now that's very interesting because unfortunately today in hip hop, we have this generational gap where they try to set the elders against the youth. And for you to say that you were inspired by 90s and 2000s rap is very rare. Yet a lot of people your age, how old are you?
19.
A lot of people your age and about like to 26 say they feel like they've missed real hip hop and they want to hear stuff like the 90s, like Tribe and like you know, Nas, Lil J, Biggie, Redman. In listening to music like that, how did that help you form your personality and style on the mic and how you present your lyrical content?
What I got from the 90s, early 2000s, and by early 2000s, I'm not talking about like Soulja Boy and you know, stuff like that. That wasn't really my wave. But 2000s in sense of like Eminem being like one of the greatest to like inspire me in that sense. But from those rappers from the 90s and the early 2000s, I learned how to tell a story through rap. Because I knew how to write stories. Again, like when I first started, it wasn't really poetry or rap. It was more essays and writing stories. So I knew how to do it in that format. But to put it into a rhyme format, it was a lot different. So understanding how the 90s rappers did it, it's like you're learning from the veterans, and they knew how to put a story. Like Nas is one of the greatest storytellers to ever do it. Like, gave you power, like
riding solo in the whip, caution if the cops don't pass. I'm dashing, all I get's a call and it's a couple of my boys talking about they want the spliff. We just gotta pick it up, man, that's all, that's it. Even though I know I'm stressing, I just thought that this could be the moment that I get it all up off my chest. But the very second they get into the car, I'm just thinking of all of the beautiful moments that we often spent. But this is how it often went. I hit the clutch, we pick it up, and if it's us, then it's supposed to be dust to bones, bones to dust. But with love is dangerous, and I can't be the only one.